Hey guys, I'm your host Linda. Thank you for tuning in. I love you guys so much. First and foremost, I'd like to give a shout out to Samsung. They recently sent me a gift box. I'd encourage you to check out their new foldable phone. It's actually nice. It has the latest features. You can actually fold it a couple of times, and I'd advise you to check them out and live on the flip side. So today I want to talk about Cardi. The reason why Cardi hasn't been releasing music lately is because she's looking for the perfect song, or the label is looking for the perfect song. And sometimes it can take years for a label to approve a song and an album. The label is looking for the perfect song that will perform perfectly on the charts, and they are also looking for the perfect album that will catapult her to another level of stardom and that is able to beat Invasion of Privacy. We all know that her album Invasion of Privacy did really well, and for her to be able to beat that album in terms of numbers, it means that they have to choose every song very carefully. They have to make sure they have the best producers. They have to make sure that they put a budget behind the album. They have to make sure that the album is perfect for public consumption. They're trying to put out perfect songs that will climb up the charts and that will do really well. It takes so many people on the label to approve each song. The song and dance between Cardi and the label is maybe her album isn't considered perfect for public consumption. When Nicki came out, every label wanted their own Nicki. It always seemed like Young Money was winning so much because of Nicki, because she's so good at what she does. Every label desired to have a Nicki because all the rap cash was going to Young Money. Everything affiliated to rap, Young Money was benefiting from. When Atlantic got Cardi, they believed that they got their own Nicki. Power was so centralized around Nicki. She commercialized it so well, and Young Money was benefiting greatly financially, and no other label had a slice of that pie. So for that reason, they have to make sure that the album is perfect and every song is perfect, and they have to take their time. So many execs have to approve. They have to make sure that it's viable to compete with Nicki. This is a reason why there's such a huge delay. I believe that Cardi hasn't been shelved. Cardi's first album didn't flop. All her songs on her album went platinum, so there's no way she flopped. That album was successful, and the label always shelves you when you put out your first album, it flops, and then you put out a second album and it flops. Cardi hasn't flopped yet for her to be shelved. The song and dance that is going on is, can she sustain success? Can her next release beat her first album? This is what is causing a delay. She hasn't given the label reason enough for her to be shelved, and the label might not have recouped the money they spent on Invasion of Privacy, because they spent a lot of money on that album to make it super successful. But I also believe that they might not have recouped from that, but they have recouped in other ways, like through endorsements, through movies that Cardi has done. You see, the 360 deal has been designed in a way that the label eats a percentage of everything that the artist does. So the artist might flop in tour sales, but definitely when they perform in festivals, they get a cut. When the artist gets endorsements, they get a cut. When the artist is in a movie, they get a cut. And Cardi has been in movies, Cardi has performed in festivals, and Cardi has done endorsements. Yeah, Cardi also makes money through collaborations because people pay to collab with her, and her collaborations are really powerful because we've seen artists who didn't have numbers, and after doing a collaboration with Cardi, their numbers went significantly up. We've seen artists who were never on the Billboard charts, but after collaborating with Cardi, they found themselves on the Billboard charts. When Cardi collaborates with you, you kind of benefit, and there's an advantage that artists get from collaborating with Cardi. Artists pay for these collaborations, and Cardi gets a pretty check from that. Cardi also does a lot of appearances, and this is also a check that the label gets a percentage of that. So saying that the label hasn't recouped money from Cardi at all is a big lie, because I believe they have recouped, just not in the way they thought they would have recouped. They probably thought Cardi would go on tour and she would make so much money on a world tour and go overseas and stuff like that. Because that didn't happen, it doesn't mean that they didn't recoup their money to some extent. They have gotten some money back from Cardi. Maybe it might not be the amount they spent on Invasion of Privacy, privacy, but I definitely believe that they have recouped to some extent, because the 360 deal has been designed in a way that if they are not able to recoup through touring, they are able to recoup through other ways. They spent so much money on that album to make it super successful. I genuinely believe that Cardi has not been shelved, but I believe that her budget has been greatly reduced and she isn't being given priority by the label as she was in the past. She has taken so long to release her next album. The label isn't really sure about her and her popularity and her ability to sell another album and her ability to sell another single by herself. Yes, she's always in the headlines, but her star power has greatly reduced from 6 years ago. 6 years ago, she was bigger, she was everywhere. Her star power was very different from the way it is today. For that reason, the label kind of panicked and reduced her budget greatly. Right now, she's doing a lot of collaborations to make sure that she stays out there and people stay listening to her, still listen to what she has to put out, even if it's through a collaboration. And this is really commendable for Cardi, because at least she's fighting for her career and she's putting something out there for people to consume that is from her. Her latest video wasn't really like the best quality, and you can tell that they used a lot of green screen in her video, and there's a difference between her latest video and her previous videos. You can tell that the difference is major. Because of the budget cut, Cardi really has to fund her own stuff. She has to fund her video, she has to fund her studio time. Yeah, she might take a while to release her next album and her next song. I'd like to give a shout out to Ambassador Bitok. He is an international relations expert. He's done an amazing job in economic diplomacy. He has brought in big sales for so many countries internationally through exports. He's been an ambassador in Pakistan for the last 5 years and has been recently appointed as Kenya's Minister of Interior, in charge of diplomacy and citizen services. Due to all the amazing work he's done in economic diplomacy, he's really gifted in this area and is able to translate exports into big sales for countries. I'd love for you guys to check out some of the work he's done and the impact he has made. You can check out his page at Julius Bitok and some of the amazing things that he's done in the economic diplomacy space. So thank you guys for watching. I love you guys.